You are listening to the William Gomes Podcast. I am William Gomes and I am grateful to have you here. Today, I want to talk about something deeply personal, something that shapes how autistic people grow, how they understand themselves, and how they find belonging in a world that often misunderstands them. I want to talk about autistic identity. Identity is not simply a label, it is a story we tell about who we are. It is shaped by our experiences, our relationships, our environments, and the language available to us. For many autistic people, identity develops in complex ways because the messages they receive throughout life are often mixed, sometimes painful, and occasionally empowering. From a young age, autistic children often sense that they are different even before they have the language to describe it. They may notice that others seem to interact effortlessly while they struggle to interpret cues. They may wonder why certain environments feel overwhelming to them but not to their peers. They may internalize misunderstandings from teachers, relatives, or professionals who frame their behavior as problematic rather than meaningful. These early experiences shape self understanding and they can leave a mark. For some, identity begins with feeling out of sync. They may not yet know why they think differently or why they need more clarity and predictability. Without supportive adults who understand their needs, they may begin to believe that something is wrong with them. This is why language and environment matter. A child who hears that they are difficult, dramatic, or too sensitive may grow up feeling ashamed of who they are. A child who hears that their needs are valid, their experience is real, and their difference is meaningful will develop a more grounded sense of self. Diagnosis, as we explored in the previous episode, can be a turning point in identity. For many autistic people, receiving a diagnosis brings clarity. It gives them a framework to understand their sensory world, their thinking patterns, their communication style, and the exhaustion they feel after masking. For some adults, diagnosis brings relief, a sense of finding a missing piece of themselves. For others, it brings grief for the years spent misunderstood. Both responses are valid. Identity is shaped by truth, and diagnosis offers truth that has often been missing. Identity also evolves with community. When autistic people meet others who think, feel, and process like them, something powerful happens. They feel seen, they feel understood. They discover that the differences they carried as burdens are shared by others, and that these differences can be sources of strength. Autistic culture, connection, and community play a significant role in shaping identity, whether through online spaces, local groups, or friendships. These relationships affirm that autistic ways of being are real, valid, and deeply human. Another part of identity is understanding one's strengths. Many autistic people grow up hearing about what they cannot do rather than what they excel at. But autistic strengths are significant: deep focus, honesty, creativity, fairness, pattern recognition, sensory awareness, and a unique way of seeing the world. These are not just traits, they are part of who autistic people are. When strengths are recognized, identity shifts away from deficit and toward self respect. Masking also shapes identity. Many autistic people learn to hide their differences to avoid judgment or rejection. They move through life performing a version of themselves that feels safer but is deeply tiring. Masking may help them fit in socially, but it can blur their sense of self. They may feel disconnected from who they truly are. Recognizing and reducing masking at home, at school, at work allows autistic people to rebuild identity based on authenticity rather than survival. Identity is also shaped by society. Autistic people live in a world that still misunderstands sensory overload, communication differences, and emotional intensity. When society treats autism as something to hide or correct, autistic people internalize shame. When society respects autism as a form of human diversity, autistic people internalize dignity. Our cultural narratives matter. They shape how autistic children grow into autistic adults. A positive autistic identity does not mean ignoring challenges. It means recognizing that challenges arise from the interaction between the autistic individual and their environment. It means holding strength and struggles together with honesty. It means knowing that being autistic is not a disadvantage, it is a different way of being human. Supporting autistic identity means respecting the person's pace, their communication style, their sensory world, and their emotional needs. It means offering them language that validates rather than diminishes. It means giving them space to explore who they are without pressure. And it means listening, truly listening to their experience. In the next episode, we will explore how autistic people navigate adolescence, a time full of change, intensity, and identity development. But for now, I hope this episode encourages you to see autistic identity as something to be nurtured, respected, and celebrated. And thank you for listening. This is the William Gomes Podcast. Take care of yourself, stay curious, and I will speak with you again soon.